I have two videos for you to view, but we're going to start off and listen to Kyle Kulinski of Secular Talk talk about Democrats and, how they've been lucky so far because of the incompetence of the Trump administration.
So the Democrats have really gotten lucky in that MAGA is completely and utterly imploding because of their own horrific decisions. And the Democratic strategy has basically been, we're going to go sit in the corner in the cuck chair and shut up and let the Republicans hang themselves. Now, look, as I said from day one, and you can go back and look at the commentary, I said that the strategy of just stepping aside and letting Republicans self-implode, it's going to work. It's going to work because Republican ideology is so grotesque that the country will revolt if Republicans have free reign. But I also said, if Democrats were to actually fight back and actually hold the right accountable and actually go on the offense, then instead of winning by 5 or 6 points, you can win by like 12 or 13 points, right? And so we've had this slew of Democratic wins in special elections across the country, and it's a glorious thing to see. But at the same time that's happening, Democratic leaders keep shitting the bed and jumping the shark and showing how horribly weak and pathetic they are, and just flat out wrong they are about some of the most crucial issues of our time.
Greetings, my PPPN family. This is Black People Politics Network. I'm Mr. Red. We saw Kyle Kulinski talking about how weak and feckless that Democrats are, but the reason why they've been able to get away with it, because the Trump administration is so bad that they're alienating people that they need to win. But that's not enough. If we're going to change things, then Democrats have to show that they have a spine. I have said on this channel that people like Chuck Schumer need to go. All of the corporate Democrats need to go because they are going to ruin this country's chance of getting back to some sense of normalcy, or at least fixing and correcting what has happened. And that is this country's turn from being a democracy to an authoritarian, autocratic dictatorship. Today, I'm going to show you more of what Kyle Kulinski wants to show us and how bad this is. But there's something even worse. You're going to want to stay around because I have another video that's going to show that if Democrats continue to work weakly, and I'm not a Democrat, I'm an independent. If Democrats continue to move in this direction, there may be no country left and there is no saving us. We have much to discuss. Let's strap in. Let's get after it.
So this video just came out. Shout out to Jacob and Kornbla, who was at this fundraising event with Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer's giving a speech, and what is he talking about? Well, I mean, shit, you would think that in this moment, like literally everybody's talking about the Epstein files. Everybody's talking about how Elon Musk is guilty and Donald Trump is guilty, and there's so much evidence to prove that they're guilty, and we need people to be locked up, and we need investigations, and we need, committee hearings in Congress, and I mean, shit, we got to drop the hammer. These motherfuckers were exposed as part of a human trafficking cartel. So what is he talking about? He's talking about this. Listen.
Fight for aid to Israel, all the aid that Israel needs. I will continue to fight for it. And we delivered more security assistance to Israel, our ally, under my leadership than ever before. We will keep doing that, everybody.
He's literally bragging about giving more money to Israel and saying we're going to keep giving money to Israel.
What the hell is actually going on? You know what? This doesn't shock me because Chuck Schumer he claims to be Jewish. And here's the thing. You don't hear me talk about the subject of it's not real, wink, wink. You don't hear me talking about it. And the reason why you don't hear me talking about it is because these people are seriously infiltrating this country. I even heard something recently that the Trump files, that the ones that these are showed, there is also emails that show the ties that Trump may be compromised by it's not real. And listen, I don't think this is much of a shock to you all for you all that's paying attention and understand the dynamics of what's going on. But what I'm going to tell you is this country and a couple other countries have us by the proverbial balls through one Donald J. Trump. And so here it is, this country, which has been committing atrocities, G-side against P people, okay? I'm just being careful with my words, okay? Because, again, we don't need these stress troubles right now, but I'm just telling you, this is an issue. And so you got people like Chuck fucking Schumer going there telling them they're going to give them as much aid as possible so they can continue to hurt people, so they can continue to give it to their citizens, you know, have maternity leave and have free college and get military training. This makes you think how feckless and weak that Chuck Schumer is, that he is also compromised by It's Not Real. This is what I believe. So why is this a problem? In the next clip that I'm going to show you, you're going to see why, if we continue to have leadership in the Democratic Party like Chuck Schumer, it's cooked. Even though Republicans might be in a minority, they will be in the majority for years to come. And that's going to send the country to a very dark place. But I'm going to show you how.
CNN's Harry Enton, because he provides visual aid. And then when we're done with that, we'll dive into another source I want you to take a look at, and we'll discuss it along the way.
Now, this is interesting, right? But it could also have major political ramifications if it holds for 2030, the next census. Because take a look here. If, in fact, the 2025 population shifts hold for the 2030 census, look at this. Look at the House seat shifts by state. Remember, of course, we apportion the number of House seats depending on the population in each state. If, in fact, the 2025 population shifts hold for 2030, states that Kamala Harris won, they would lose. They would lose 7 seats in the United States House of Representatives. The states that Donald Trump won in 2024, they would gain 7 seats. Now, this isn't just about the House of Representatives, right? It's also about the Electoral College, because the number of electoral votes that each state gets is equal to the number of senators. Each state, of course, has 2, plus the number of House seats that they have. So what would this mean for the House of Representatives? Well, if you remember back in 2024, right, it was all about, we were talking about the blue wall. If Kamala Harris could win the baseline Democratic states and then add in the blue wall states of Michigan, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, she would get to 270 electoral votes. But if all of a sudden we, in fact, have applying the 2025 estimates, the population estimates, to the Electoral College, the blue states plus the blue wall of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin would no longer be enough. Under the current estimates, you get to exactly 270 electoral votes, the minimum needed to win the Electoral College. If, in fact, you apply the 2025 estimates, look at that. You would only get to 263 electoral votes if you were a Democrat, which would mean a Republican victory.
That is goddamn insane. So I understand that people are shifting here and there and they need more representatives, some more people. But the Electoral College, which was based upon racism in the first place, is the thing that's going to keep the minority party, right? Because they don't typically win the popular vote. But it would keep, instead of the plurality of Americans voting for someone, it would be based upon this Electoral College, which favors, right now, it would favor red states. So as you can see, this problem doesn't go away. I don't suspect Trump is going to be around by 2030, but it doesn't matter. Because by 2030, you'll have a worse Trump, or whatever it is that they're trying to put into place. We're going to be cooked. And so when I hear people say, well, it doesn't matter, can we vote independent? I understand why you would want to vote independent, but we have to infiltrate one or other of these parties with progressive candidates who care about the American people. And we have to take over the party from the inside in order for us to have political and electoral reforms. So if people hear that Chuck Schumer is cozying up to countries like It's Not Real, who may have compromised us, who we might be beholden to, then who's going to want to vote for that shit?
Oh my God, I don't think he ever actually won. I don't think he ever won. Are you guys going through this document dump? There are documents in there, emails back and forth of JE talking to people from that one foreign country that we're always suspicious of. This app is so heavily censored, so I can't say it, but you know what I'm talking about, the one that we think he's being subservient to. Yeah, JE was meeting with officials before November of 2016 and with Peter Thiel. There is a possibility that he actually never won. And the only reason 2020 went that way is because of the mail. Do you know what I'm saying? Because of that unprecedented number of mail, he couldn't electronically do what he needed to do and what he did do in 2016 and 2024. I'm very normal and realistic person. I'm just reading these files and reading these emails.
Have you all heard recently Donald Trump saying about getting rid of mail-in ballots? Have you heard that? Have you seen any clips about that? Now, I don't have the resources to pull that clip for you, but he's been talking about getting rid of mail-in ballots. If you remember, in 2020, there was such a referendum against Trump because of how he handled COVID, how he handled the economy. I don't think people realize how bad things were that Trump left Biden. He left him a messed up economy. Not to mention, he handled COVID so poorly, we were going into shits then. The reason why the mail-in ballots were so important is because with the mail-in ballots, they couldn't rig the voting machines for mail-in, only for same-day voters. So if you went in to vote, Elon and them, whatever they did to those machines, helped Trump. That's why a lot of the data doesn't look right. They still haven't accounted for that yet. But with the mail-in ballots, they couldn't rig those totals. And so there was an influx, right? Mail-in ballots started to be a big thing post-COVID. Because think about what was going on at that time. People were talking about, okay, we got to do these mail-in ballots because we don't want to have a bunch of sick people around each other. Trump lost that election. And then this one, because COVID had been gone for a while, 2024 election, there wasn't as many mail-in ballots. And so Trump did something that no other president has done. Even though his rallies didn't have a lot of people in it, even though there were signs that people were disgusted with them, don't think about MAGA. Don't think about how much they showed that on TV. That was all smoke and mirrors. What you need to remember is that he was very unpopular. Look at Kamala's rallies in 2024 and then look at Trump's rallies. You can't tell me he had that much excitement, that he actually won the popular vote and he did something that no other president did, which was win 7 swing states. Nobody's ever done that before. At least if I recall, nobody's ever done that. That's how much it was rigged. And now he's trying to get rid of mail-in ballots because he's not popular right now. And if the mail-in ballots get in there, he'll lose because he can't rig the voting machines. This is a big fucking deal. Stay vigilant. Stay engaged. Stay revolutionary.